I'm going to show you Zotero, one of the bibliographic or reference material managers that's out there. Another one is EndNote that you'll hear a lot about. EndNote costs, I'm not really sure how much it costs anymore. Zotero is free, and it's community run. There is pretty good documentation on it, and there is a huge group of users on the forums that will help you, that have probably already answered every question you have. So I have it installed on my system, on my Mac. I also have a extension in my browser in Chrome so that I can easily connect what I see in Chrome into Zotero. And I have an extension for Word, so for Microsoft Word, so that I can access it from there. So once you've downloaded it, installed it, and done all those good pieces, this is what it would look like on a Mac. So just remember, everything I'm doing is very Mac-y right now. I already have a number of projects going, but we'll start a new one here for a project I'm working on right now. South Park, we'll just call it that. So it makes a little folder here. There's nothing in it for the moment. So I'm going to go find something for it. So I'm going to go to Realm, our kind of first stop for searching most of the time. And because I've already searched this, I know I need to separate out these terms. I'm looking for articles on music in South Park. And I'm going to put the word television in because there is a town called South Park, Colorado. South and Park by themselves are both very common words. So I'm trying to narrow this down as much as I can. Okay, I get 4 results. The first one, I know it says periodical, but it's actually a book. I'm not sure why there's this mistake in there. But there's Music and Television Channels of Listening is the book, and the essay title in the book is From Punk to the Musical, South Park Music in the Cartoon Format. I know because I have the book that this second one is an appendix in the book with some detailed information that goes with the article above. And then this is an entry for the book itself in which those 2 essays are found. So I know I'm interested in this. And then this last one is an article in a journal, for real, American Music, a quarterly journal. So let's start with this. I'm going to show you 2 ways that you could get the citation into Zotero. So remember, this is a book, so I can't get the book in there. But I can get the citation in. I'm going to start with exporting. Just as a little side note, don't forget those abstracts. They're wonderful things to help you narrow down what you want. So export. So notice that one of the options is direct export into RIS format, and that in that list is Zotero. So that means I'll be able to use it. So I'm going to save that file, download it, and then I'm going to do a little Mac magic here, drag it onto Zotero. That's going to import it. Now it imports it into its own little place there, so I'm going to drag it into my South Park project. And now when I go over there, there it is. I'm going to move the window to the center here so I can read it easier. So if I twirl the triangle down, I can see that it's made an entry for a database entry. It says it's a book section, which that's what it is. It's an essay in the book. The title is the title of the essay in the book. This is the author of the essay. And notice it includes the entire abstract from Realm. The book title is listed here. It looks a little funny. I may have to come back and edit it. And then the publication date is down here. So that's pretty good. Another way I could get that citation into Zotero is through the extension on my browser. So up here in the address bar, there's a little, looks like a little page with the corner turned down. I can click on that, and down here you can see it's saving it, and it added it into whatever project was the active one at that time. Zotero has to be open for you to do that, but it added another, so it's a duplicate. So I have 2 of them now. Just delete one of them. So that's two ways to get the citation into Zotero. Let's go back and look at the other article that was interesting. Come Sail Away and the Commodification of Prague Light. So I'm looking at this abstract, and it's not directly related to what I'm doing, but there's not a lot written about South Park and music, so I better take what I can find. So this is a journal article, so I'm going to go find it at BU. It's in JSTOR. So there's the first page of the article. I'm going to download the PDF. So, File, Save Page As. Now I have a whole method of doing things here. Author's last name, some version of the title of the article. And I usually keep it in a directory called Articles that's a subdirectory of a bigger project folder. But you come up with whatever system works for you. So I save it onto my disk. Let's go back and look though. Citation tools. Export. That looks good, doesn't it? RIS. Now they don't list Zotero, but we already know Zotero will accept those. So let's download that one. And drop it in there. Tell it yes. And again, I have to go drag it over to South. I don't think I dragged it. Let me try again. There we go. So there's the article. I'm going to move this into the center again. So we can see that this time the item type is journal article. There's the title of the article, the author, what journal it came from, volume number, issue number, the page range for the entire article, date of publication. So everything we would need to make a footnote or bibliography entry. The other nice thing about Zotero is I can go back over here where I saved this file, and I can drag it in here into this entry, and it associates it with it. So just so you can see. So that means when I'm working, I can come back to this and think, what was that? I need to read that article. And I can click on it, and it brings it up. Now, one thing you'll notice is when we look at the entry, it did not include an abstract. That's because JSTOR doesn't have the abstracts to give us. If I had imported it or exported it from Realm, I would have gotten the abstract. But that's easy enough because now I can just come over here, copy it, go into the abstract, paste it. So there we go. So let's try looking on Google Scholar, and see if there's anything out there we might want to use. I think I'm going to use the word irony though. I think looking for music isn't going to get me more than what that did. But let's see what they have. This looks interesting. Economies of hyper-irony and manic satire. Well, I can see that in some way this is connected to what I'm thinking about with this episode I'm working on. And my little turn down page thing is there. So when I click on it, down here at the bottom, it saves it into whatever the active project is. So we have our entry here. Again, it's captured all the information. Let's see if there's something else I want to take a look at. Actually, why don't we go to Google instead of Google Scholar. Media Commons. So this looks like a commentary or a blog post, something that while I might not use it in my paper, it might be something I want to come back to later to think about. So there's no little turn down page there, so I'm going to have to make an entry myself. So I know from experience the closest thing I'm going to get to web page is in Zotero is to call it a blog post, which is fine. The title, I'm going to just come right over here and highlight it, copy it, put it in. I'm going to enter the author's last name. Ted. I don't really have an abstract for this. The blog title is In Media Res, a Media Commons project. Today's date, nope, the publication date was January 14th, 2008. The URL, I will copy it. Today's date is 2/13/15, and that's all I really need. And so now I have an entry for that. So that's a couple of, you can see that it's very flexible. That's a couple of ways that you could put things into Zotero. In the next video, I'll show you how we can get those into your document now as citations.